Like, I stand on principle. He like, yo, what principles? What principles? You not blood, you not Crip, you not YG, you neutral. I'm like, I'm GFC. He like, yo, GFC to my man. Like, at the end of the day, what are you gonna do? I say, yo, bro, what you say? He said, GFC to my, boom, I took off on him. Shit, like the
what it do, see me with the crew, had to get some food, I see you looking like you do, had to make a move, feel like gotta grow, in a Jimmy Choo, break the rules, no you're not a fool, but I'm in the mood.
Peace y'all, Snake Almighty, aka the Global Dark Skin Ambassador, man. Happy pagan holidays to you and yours. Here's another Rikers Island story about when I popped that bottle, you know what I'm saying, on this Crip dude who disrespected the set. Now, at the time, the set was GFC, God's Favorite Children, a well-known, you know what I'm saying, street gang created by people from Cortland. You may have heard of it. Now, let's just talk about how this went down and how I went against the grain by doing this, and I ended up getting my boot smoked, and I got packed up out the crib, you know what I'm saying, because they hot me. You feel me? But without further ado, let's get into it, man. Now, the politics in this crib was this. The politics was, this was early. This was 2008. 2008, GFC from Cortland was just getting started. It was just getting started. You feel me? Like brand new. There wasn't too many people that was GFC when I first got to Rikers Island in 2008. Therefore, GFC didn't really mean nothing to a lot of people unless you was GFC and you was from Cortland. Now, at this current point in time, GFC did not become YGFC, which was by the time I had went up north, GFC had become a branch under the YGs, the Young Gunners, and that became YGFC for an amount of time, you know, before the issues came and GFC broke off and became OGFC, which was original goons from Cortland. But before that, it was like Young Gunners from Cortland. But before that, it was just GFC, like just starting off. And I was, like I said, I was one of the only people in there at the time. I mean, this was before T-Roy had came back. So it literally was just me. Reese was there at the same time. He was in one lower though at the time where I was running into him, and he was not locked up for that long. So this is when Reese was on the island before he went home, and he got into the situation that let him do his bid where he did like 10. I still ain't see my bro. So yo, Reese, if you ever watch this, peace and love, bro. I miss you. But the politics in this house was, it was ran by basically Brooklyn and Queens. Bronx, who already had a rivalry with Brooklyn, like a rivalry. Like, it was literally, like I always say, like Goku versus Vegeta, man. Goku versus Vegeta. It's like you respected the other side, but you didn't respect the other side at the same time. And anytime you had a chance to flex on the other side, that's what you was going to do. Now, this was a blood run house. It wasn't even no Young Gunners in this house, you know what I'm saying? Which would have made it a little bit easier for me to move around, you feel me? But like I said, this was a time where the chairs were real lit, you know what I'm saying? People were fighting over chairs, this, that, and the third, and you could come in, you could choose to fight for a chair, but to choose to fight for a chair, you was basically saying that at some point you wanted to be either Blood or Crip or Young Gunner. I had no interest in that. So what I did was I fought for a rocking spot. Now, if you brand new to this, you don't know what a rocking spot is. A rocking spot is, you're not one of the main oppressors, but you fight for the ability to be one of the oppressors and not be oppressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you won't, like, you'll fight and you win your fight, right? You'll be able to move how you want to move. You'll be able to use the phone whenever you want, unless of course one of the gang members was using the phone first. But you'll be able to, you know what I'm saying? You don't gotta worry about getting jumped randomly. You don't gotta worry about getting extorted, but you will be participating in some of your own extortion. You will have to participate in the riffraff. You know what I'm saying? And that was my main gig, my whole time being in Rikers Island. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to get too much into the gang politics because I seen what come with it. Like, these dudes did not trust each other. They was snitching on each other. They was going to the box for extortion. You know what I'm saying? They was setting each other up, finding, you know what I'm saying, finding shanks and all of that inside people's cells, all type of wild, disloyal stuff. And I feel like I had a higher intellect than the average gang member in Rikers Island. I knew what was coming with that. And my thing was, I just wanted to maintain the status quo enough to where you know that if you mess with me, I'm going to get extremely violent. But however, my first goal is to not be extremely violent, but at the same time, like, I wasn't perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did have fun participating in, you know what I'm saying, smacking the occasional day room dummy up. I did take pride in, you know, taking Frosted Flakes from dudes, beating them up, getting them jumped when they didn't listen. I did take pride in that, you know, like, these wasn't, like, my first like 6 to 8 months in Rikers Island, I was mostly being a follower and participating in the riffraff just so I wouldn't have to look over my back all the time, just so I wouldn't have to be forced to join the gang for protection like a lot of dudes was doing. Now, anybody who says that in C-74 Rikers Island, the Bloods and the Crips never got along, this is a lie. There was issues sometimes, but oftentimes they found ways to live amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? And for the Crips who managed to either run the crib or get a team spot and have a chair, these were some of the toughest of the toughest. You know what I'm saying? The toughest of the toughest. A lot of these dudes' hands was real serious, or they got into so many fights to where they earned their respect. And on this particular day, I got into it with a Crip who was mad over a spades game. Now, I got a story about a spades game before. A lot of things happen over spades games when you gambling and stuff like that. You feel me? So, me and this dude, we was gambling. We was on opposite teams. Okay? My team, me and whoever's on my team, we won. Him and whoever's on his team, they lost. Now, the deal was, he was supposed to give me 5 stamps, 5 honey buns, right? 5 stamps, 5 honey buns. Now, we win. He gives me 5 stamps. Stamps is easy to come by. You can have a whole lot of stamps. They don't cost that much money. He give me the 5 stamps. I'm like, hey, bro, what's up with the honey buns? He like, yo, man, I'm gonna get it from such and such, and I'm gonna give them to you tomorrow, right? So I already started feeling the way. I'm like, I see that I'm gonna end up having to get packed up out this crib because, one, he was already a shifty Brooklyn dude. You know what I'm saying? Not the most likable guy from Brooklyn. You know, he definitely wasn't. And I already seen him jerk other people before in gambling games, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to believe that he respected me as a man enough to not try to play me. So the next day comes, he like, yo, you gotta wait for them honey buns, blah, 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 blah. But I know him. He got a bucket full of honey buns in his cell. So I'm like, yo, bro, like what's this about? Like, why you trying to play me like I'm soft? Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like all that team stuff is cool. Like I respect you, but you gotta respect my too, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like I stand on principles. He like, yo, what principles? What principles? You not blood, you not Crip, you not YG, you neutral. I'm like, I'm GFC. He like, yo, GFC to my man. Like, at the end of the day, what are you gonna do? I say, yo, bro, what you said? He said, GFC to my, boom. I took off on him, right? Took off on him in the cell. So now we fighting, we shaking. I ain't gonna lie, he hit hard, but like I said, I popped off first. So I'm getting the best of him. I end up getting him down to the floor, and I'm like banging his head on the floor, right? Banging his head on the floor, right? Immediately, other dudes from the team, they see it, they come in, they all hot me, right? They jumping me and all that. They immediately didn't question what was going on. They didn't question anything, but it's like a follow-up. It's a follow-up. It's just like this in Rikers Island, right? C-74. Somebody on the team gets popped on. Nobody asks questions. Whoever popped on somebody from the team or somebody on the crib, they immediately get smoked. They immediately get hot, right? So they spanking me. Eventually, the CO comes all the way to the back where we was at. And she pressed the PBA button. The PBA button sounds off. We still fighting, they jumping me, but in the middle of it, I don't really feel nothing because my adrenaline is pumping. Pumping, right? But we fighting. At some point, I get punched in my lip. My bottom lip on this side is bust, it's bleeding. I'm still fighting but getting jumped at the same time because it's like they decking me, they trying to kick me, but at the same time, I'm choking their mans out. Like I'm choking the Crip dude out, right? Choking them good, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in Rikers Island. All I had was my integrity in GFC. At no point could I ever let anybody from the hood come to Rikers Island and be like, yo, you heard of Juju? Yeah, man, Juju doing bad and they is violating this GFC and all that other stuff. Because at the end of the day, I had full plans on going home and bragging about my time on Rikers Island like I did and continuing to proclaim myself to be a tough guy, right? So the turtles come. Once they come, like I always say, almost nobody ever plays once the turtles come because this is the A team. All these dudes is bodybuilders. It's all men. They all got they large sticks. Pause. But they all got their cane looking things and they all got the shields over their face. Nobody plays with them. So immediately you put your knees on the floor and you put your elbows to the wall, hands behind your head, and they ended up packing me up. I went to the box for like 50 days for that. Came out, and I started the whole process over again in a whole nother house. But by the time I went to this other house, it was ran by Bronx and Harlem dudes. So Harlem dudes and Bronx dudes, it's always easier for them to get along, even though there's a little bit of a rivalry there too. But a lot of these dudes was YG, and a lot of these other dudes was familiar with GFC. So it was easier for me to move around after that. You know, you just start the whole process again. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, listen, what I gotta do to be good, who I gotta fight, and you start the whole process again. You know what I'm saying? You win, you lose. If you lose, you get an option to fight again. You know what I'm saying? Do not give up if you lose, because if you lose and you give up and you don't choose to fight again, then you are a day room dummy and you gotta keep that title. You know what I'm saying? But you go through the whole process again. Like I said, if you want to fight for a chair, it's gang politics that come after that. Is that a third? But I'm gonna end that story here, man. You know, he disrespected the set, so I went in his mouth. Pause. But I went in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? And I beat him up, even though I got beat up. You feel me? Like, shit, come subscribe, peace.